Hey, what's going on, Pisces? What's good with y'all? So I decided to come back and kick it with the fish in particular, you know, because I felt it was good to come back after such a long time and really address. Because I used to do more videos for Pisces anyway. So I think I took it too lightly that I manifest through my words, and it came into the digital world. And after some careful thought about what I said, I said what I said, but when I listened to the tone of my voice, I was like, well, damn, it sounds like I'm a little bit unappreciative because I didn't physically get to grasp some boobies, right? Like something like that. So, but when looking at astrology, that's not even the case, right? And this is something that I'm learning again. I guess you could say I've learned it in book format when reading about the planets and how they potentially influence individuals to move out through the universe, right? So I say that to say this. I have a natal placement of Uranus inside of my third house, right? So naturally, after carefully analyzing this, it's only right that if I communicate, right? Communication, third house, speak something through the internet, Uranus rules over the internet, then it shall return to me in through the internet as Uranus suggests, right? And it may come out of nowhere, the same way that Uranus can be unpredictable, lightning quick, and just, kind of erratic, whatever the case may be. So those are the type of behaviors that I described in the last video, and it's like, oh, okay, I see it, I get it. So it's not nothing to take lightly at all. So I want to speak with y'all, right? And if you have any planets inside of your third house, I want you to comment in the comment section too, and tell me how the planet applies to third house functions, such as taking walks in the community, communication, bicycles, skateboards, cars, things of that nature, small distance trips and stuff like that. How does those planets correlate with those third house functions for you, so that I can determine further that it's not just a me thing, so we can toy around with this a bit. At the same time, I want to talk about this, right? Because this is what made me think about this. Like when I was doing a solar return video as well, I had a solar return in 2000 and either 16 or 17, and it landed in the third house. So when and that not I just had moved into this neighborhood around that time, right? So I'm looking, this is when I was actually looking to see, okay, this is going to be a strong year for community, blah, 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 blah. And no matter how much I went to put my best foot forward to like meet certain people or whatever the case may be, the furthest I got was a gym. It's pretty much, you know what I'm saying? The furthest I got is a gym membership. And even there, I may have met like 3 people that I kicked it with on a continuous basis, maybe about four people that I kicked it with on a continuous basis that I would see throughout the neighborhood. A couple of other people I knew from the neighborhood that worked in a few of the stores, but they were quiet types, you know what I'm saying? They didn't really have much rap, so I'm not going to force myself on people just because astrology says so, but that's as far as I got when it came to community. I noticed that I had a bigger year communicating online on the internet. So I spent more time than I thought I would inside of my apartment on the internet. I was still in school and stuff like that too, but still, I was doing a lot of communicating on the internet. So this is what brought me to come to this conclusion as well, because when this whole pandemic thing broke out, I'm outside. And I told y'all heard the videos where I'm just like taking walks and stuff. I'm finding money and I'm going to store and I'm with the money and I'm eating with it like a Taurus construct, etc., because Pisces in the solar dial, Taurus is in the third house, right? So I also want to ask y'all, how long have you spent in neighborhoods, right? Because I think to help and catapult the whole Pisces being depressed, going from depressed to confident, I think part of that also comes with being inside of your community. I think if a Pisces can get comfortable inside of their community, then they feel better about themselves. You also may have to investigate the community in some type of way. That investigative part of Pisces, somehow that just happens. But for the most part, Taurus being a gradual, steady, and follow through sign signifies that Pisces can become a strong pillar inside of their community should they stick around, right? Should they stick around. So I want to know how many of you Pisces have been in the community that you stay in right now, or even before, that you've been there for a long time. I'd want to know that, and I'd want to know how that correlates rather with your natal chart, because some people may have a natal positioning that suggests you move around a lot, that you bounce around a lot from place to place, and perhaps that's the difference. But if not, what made you stay is pretty much what I'm asking. If it came down to stuff like me, and I think because like I said, when the pandemic came out, there was no one I could go to knock on their door and get some sugar, you know what I'm saying, and I kid you not, I got some cool ass neighbors though, you know what I'm saying, they give me stuff and everything, they've done it on numerous occasions. But my style of doing shit is just if I needed it, I wouldn't go and knock on their door and ask for anything, you know what I mean. That's just how I am. But I say that to say this, when you're in a community, you would think, or at least probably back in the days, right, communities were more tight-knit because in situations like this, they were more common, I guess, and the ability to communicate with someone in a close proximity was more often. It's just a more common thing because of proximity, right? And the way to communicate, besides the telephone, besides the landline, it just wasn't there, right? But now with this internet thing, like I said, I got Uranus in the third house, it changes things. So when the pandemic hit, and I'm like, okay, the first thing I did, it's like I intuitively felt that something was coming, first of all. So I think I might have mentioned this before. I took on a couple of independent contracts or whatever the case may be. And I did them real quick. I just piled them up real quick. And I just did them real quick, got them out of the way. And then a week later, a lot of those opportunities were shut down because the pandemic hit. So when I got light of that, I was like, let me check with these companies and see if they doing anything. And come to find out, they wasn't moving. They were shut down, right? So I'm like, all right. So my intuition is sharp. It told me something. So that gave me some money that I could sit on while this thing is occurring, so I don't have to panic, right? So, but there's something about chaos that drives me to just see what else is out there, So like the videos tell you, I was out there and about, and not taking the thing as serious as everybody was making it out to be. And during this time, I see myself surrounded by a lot of people outside. Like I told y'all, there's a lot of people outside of my community and stuff like that. And it's just they're passing by. A couple of people I speak to, but for the most part, I'd have my head in my phone, posted up on the block. And I was making deals over the internet like crazy. You understand what I'm saying? So this was another depiction to me of how Uranus in the third house worked for me natally. And me, I'd be on the quest to find out, the importance levels of the solar dial in contrast to the natal dial. And, I seen both seem to work because, for the most part, staying in the neighborhood, the longer I stayed in this neighborhood, the better things got for me. In the beginning, it was rough. I kid you not, it was rough. You know what I'm saying? I know how to weather these storms. I'm used to it now. But when I compare it in contrast to now, I'm like, man, I came away. I was just looking through some old photos and shit. I'm like, I came away in the past 3-4 years. So I show gratitude for that. But I see again the distinction between the solar dial and the natal chart. But finally, I expressed when I was describing the formula that I've stumbled upon, I see how the functions go in the order that they go in and how manifestation occurs. And see, this is where my, I guess you could say, disappointment came in the last video. At least that's what it sounded like to me. From not being able to touch some tangible titties. Like, it came from me not fully observing the totality of astrology when it comes to planets. Like, I think I take planets too lightly now, and I'm gonna start taking planets more seriously now, because, and I said it in the same video, I said, you know what, when I'm face to face with a woman, these things happen for me very easy. Like, it's a no-brainer. It's like effortlessly that these things occur. So it made me look for Mars, right? So let me backtrack and look at where Mars is for my natal chart, and look where Mars is right now, which is in Pisces, y'all, by the way. So I know a lot of y'all are thinking about sex right now. Don't lie to me. I know you are. All right. And this is what I mean. I'm trying to get back to the emphasis that planets have on when they enter areas. So yeah, thinking about sex. A lot of us are having sex. A lot of us are imagining sex, writing about sex, filming sex. You get the gist, right? But for me, and I had to conclude with this, is that I know where Mars is in my natal chart. So I'm not even like, I shouldn't be tripping at all, because it's all there. It's all laid out for me. If it's all laid out there for me, it's definitely all laid out there for you too. You see how nonchalant I think I sound anyway. You know what I mean? Because I feel so much more comfortable now in the understanding of knowledge. That's why, man, it's great to know stuff. It really is. So I feel like I'm blabbering right now, but I want y'all to comment in the comment section about similarities of the things that I just spoke about, so we can get more discussion going on inside of the comment thread, so I can get more clarity or a second opinion, or, you know, more of an incidence of the things that I'm proclaiming. I don't want to feel self-righteous. You get what I'm saying? So y'all tap in, let me know what's going on with y'all in the third house. How do y'all feel about Taurus being in your third house? Are y'all with the patience? Are you with the gradual growth and the you know, the patient way of going about things and saying no to motherfuckers? Like, that's probably like my favorite part about Taurus shit, but because that's where my boundaries comes from. When communication, I just be like, all right, you taking it too far. I'm not doing that shit. You know what I mean? But did I digress? I might have digressed. But let me know how y'all feel about Taurus being in third house and the solar dial. Do you even feel it? Do you acknowledge that, or is it just, are you just now acknowledging that now because I'm bringing it up? Are you now looking at your calendar like, oh shit, I've been living here for 5 years now, goddamn? Or, you know, are you more patient in your communication style? And that's why people think you're more of an introvert or a recluse than the average person. Or let me know what's going on so we can get on the same accord and confirm these things. All right, I'm out.